I will never look at online shopping the same way after learning this. You're online, browsing for that must-have item. The price tag makes you hesitate, but then a little box pops up. It promises you can buy now, pay later. Tempting, right? These aren't layaway programs from the 1950s. This is the brave new world of buy now, pay later, or BNPL. It's a siren song of spending, whispering sweet nothings to your wallet. But just like a siren, it can lure you onto some pretty treacherous financial rocks. These services offer instant gratification. You get the stuff you want without the immediate sting of payment. But this convenience comes at a price. BNPL services are masters of disguised debt. They make it dangerously easy to spend beyond your means. Think of them as the financial equivalent of putting a shot of tequila in your morning smoothie. It seems like a good idea at the time, but it usually ends in regret and a mild sense of shame. So, before you click that Buy Now button, let's take a closer look at the world of BNPL. Because what seems like a harmless shopping hack could easily turn into a financial horror story. Leading the charge in this brave new world of debt disguised as convenience are companies like Klarna and Afterpay. They're the cool kids on the financial block, promising a frictionless shopping experience. Their names sound like something you'd hear on a Scandinavian furniture assembly instruction manual. But don't let that fool you. These companies are savvy operators in the business of separating you from your money. Klarna, with its sleek interface and promises of smooth payments, is like the seductive friend who always picks up the tab. Afterpay, with its 4 easy installments, makes you feel like you're playing a low-stakes game of financial Tetris. But remember, these companies aren't charities. They're making money off your purchases, and they're very, very good at it. They're banking on you, the consumer, getting so caught up in the ease and convenience that you forget a fundamental truth. There's no such thing as a free lunch, especially when it comes to your finances. The genius of BNPL lies in its simplicity. It's so easy, even a toddler with a smartphone could do it, though we strongly advise against giving toddlers smartphones or access to your credit card. You find something you want, click a few buttons, and boom! Your purchase is approved, even if your bank account is currently weeping softly in the corner. No need to fumble with credit card numbers. No need to endure the soul-crushing judgment of a loan officer. It's instant gratification at its finest. You get the dopamine rush of shopping without the immediate pain of payment. What could possibly go wrong? Well, the problem is this ease and convenience can be incredibly deceptive. It lulls you into a false sense of financial security. You're not really spending money, are you? It's just a small payment later. And another one. And another one. See, that's the thing about small, manageable payments. They have a nasty habit of adding up. BNPL services are masters of psychological manipulation. They exploit our innate desire for instant gratification and our aversion to loss. They dangle the carrot of zero interest and no fees like a hypnotic pendulum, lulling you into a false sense of security. It's like a magician using misdirection to make you forget that you're the one who's about to disappear into a mountain of debt. The word zero is especially potent. It implies there's no cost, no downside. But this is a carefully constructed illusion. The truth is there are always costs, even if they're hidden in the fine print or pushed off to a later date. The real genius of BNPL is that it turns spending money into a game. You're not really spending, you're just managing payments. But like any game, there are winners and losers. And in the game of BNPL, the house always wins. Vulnerable targets, millennials in the crosshairs. Now let's talk about who BNPL companies are targeting. It's not your grandparents who still write checks and pay their bills by mail. It's millennials and Gen Z, the digital natives who grew up with the internet and are accustomed to instant gratification. These generations are saddled with student loan debt, stagnant wages, and a shrinking middle class. They're looking for ways to afford the things they want and need in a world that seems increasingly designed to price them out. BNPL services swoop in, offering a lifeline to a generation struggling to stay afloat. They promise a taste of the good life, a chance to participate in consumer culture without the burden of traditional credit. But this lifeline can quickly turn into a financial noose. The house always wins, credit scores and debt spirals. Here's where the fun really stops. Those small, manageable payments we talked about, they can quickly snowball into an avalanche of debt. Miss a payment and you'll be hit with late fees that would make a loan shark blush. Suddenly, that $50 t-shirt you just had to have is now costing you double. And don't even get us started on the impact on your credit score. BNPL companies may not check your credit when you sign up, another part of their sinister appeal. But they sure will report you to the credit bureaus if you miss a payment. This can tank your credit score, making it harder to get loans, rent an apartment, or even secure a job in the future. It's a vicious cycle. You're struggling to make ends meet, so you use BNPL to afford necessities. You miss a payment, your credit score takes a hit, and now you're stuck in a financial hole that's even harder to climb out of. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. It's just going to make things worse. Resisting the lure tips for responsible spending. Okay, so we've painted a pretty bleak picture, but it's not all doom and gloom. You can enjoy the convenience of BNPL without succumbing to its dangers. It just requires a healthy dose of caution, a dash of skepticism, and a whole lot of self-control. First, treat BNPL like any other form of credit. Set a strict budget and stick to it. Only use BNPL for purchases you can afford to pay back in full and on time. Think of it like borrowing your roommate's clothes. Make sure you return them in good condition and before they need them again. Second, read the fine print. Yes, it's boring and full of legal jargon, but it's crucial to understand the terms and conditions, including interest rates, late fees, and repayment schedules. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to your finances. Finally, resist the allure of impulse purchases. BNPL thrives on our desire for instant gratification. Take a step back, breathe, and ask yourself if you really need that item. Chances are you'll be perfectly happy waiting until you can pay for it in full. The final word: financial freedom or financial ruin. BNPL services are neither inherently good nor bad. They're simply tools. And like any tool, they can be used for good or evil. Used responsibly, they can offer a convenient way to manage your finances, but used recklessly, they can lead to a financial nightmare. The choice is ultimately yours. You can choose the seductive path of instant gratification, racking up debt and jeopardizing your financial future. Or you can choose the path of financial responsibility, living within your means and building a secure future. So the next time you see that alluring buy now, pay later button, remember this: there's no such thing as a free lunch. And there's no shortcut to financial security. Choose wisely, my friends. Choose wisely.